Ratings is a show just for you. We talk film, TV, both old and new. We discover new things, our taste get broader. So here's the show's host in no particular order. Rachel's a rap, she's making a stand. It seems like world domination is her ultimate plan. And he's a little rough, he's a little caustic. Call him what you will as long as it's not toxic. Stupenzolicious gonna judge you on your sense of cool by asking you what's your favorite Mexican food. Northern Bastard and Spider Elm say hello. It seems like everybody wants to be on this YouTube show. Run by Lance who drinks cappuccino. Everybody thinks he looks like Quentin Tarantino. So come on in and join the Nielsen ratings. It's a show that you've all been anticipating.
Because I'm aware we've got no sound. Welcome to the Nielsen ratings on a rather sad occasion. We have lost one of the greats earlier today, certainly one of the finest actors of his generation, and that would be Robert Redford. I was hoping to queue up a little clip there, but we didn't have any audio for some reason. I have a feeling I might have opened it on the wrong window. So I might see if I can do that again, but I don't think I can, sadly. Yeah, no, I can't open this on a Chrome tab. I don't know why that is. So anyway, we'll come back to another clip pretty shortly. Now, I go out of my way to avoid going up against other people, but there's quite a few people streaming tonight. But I appreciate the 10 people who are watching with us this evening. We're going to be talking about our favourite Robert Redford movies, and I've asked my panel to pick 3. I'm not going to ask them to talk about them yet. I'm just going to, as I bring them in one at a time, I'm going to ask them to tell me what their choices are, and then we're going to put those on a list and we're going to see which ones are the most popular. Yes, congratulations to Northern Bastard for hitting the 1K. It's so difficult to get to that target, but yeah, you've done it, so it's a big hurdle. But let me bring in first of all my regular female co-host, rachelpearcyart.
Hello.
How are you?
All right. Could have done without this happening today. He was one of those actors for me that I would have rather not known. You know, just don't tell me. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a sad day. It has to be said. And thanks guys for letting me know in the chat there. Have you gone back down to 999? We'll soon change that. So if you haven't subbed to the channel of Northern Bastard, if one of my mods could please drop the link in, that'd be great. Welcome to the lovely Sherry. Not sure I've seen you in the chat before. If that's my friend Sherry Howard, please let me know. It might be that you're popping in to say hi. Good to see you, Peepers. Good to see you, Snorter Poopers. A few of the other regulars are here. Aaron and so on. You're very welcome. Gary Banjo Sandwich is here. Keith E is here. So good to see you all in the chat. Rachel, before I bring anyone else in, what are your three faves? Your three. Now, I actually want to phrase this: your 3 Robert Redford favorite performances. So characters that he's played. It doesn't have to be his 3 best movies. It's more his 3 best performances that you specifically remember. By the way, check out this new hat.
You already showed one of them.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Bridge Too Far.
You already showed a Bridge Too Far.
Yeah. Certainly did.
Cook is up there with one list. I think.
Yeah, it is a really beautiful performance. I mean, we'll get into these things we'll have discussions about these later. So I'm going to ask you to keep it short for now. But what you got?
My other two are Out of Africa and The Horse Whisperer.
Out of Africa and The Horse Whisperer. Okay, that's also a good choice. It's funny, because his performance in the Horse Whisperer is great, but I have to say I'm not mad. I'm not mad about the film. I don't know. That and Out of Africa, people love those. But Out of Africa, I was working at the cinema when it was on. Fuck me, that film's boring. So
I like boring things, I guess.
I hate to say it, but it's a bit of a long-winded. Okay, we are going to show a clip now. I'm gonna risk it because I'm far left now. Certainly on the American side, I think apart from Elliot Gould, I think most of the American cast of Bridge Too Far have passed away. That clip, by the way, is famous for a really rather bad continuity gaffe, which the editor, I just don't think that they spotted it, or if they did, they hoped we wouldn't spot it. And that is that one of the tanks that's crossing the bridge in that sequence is in fact German and taken from the earlier sequence in the film when the Germans are retreating over the bridge. If you watch it, you can see it. But yeah, Robert Redford doing, some people have described that action as the most heroic action of World War II. Let's see what Airborne All the Way, Lord of Toxicity thinks. Hello,
great movie, all American, baby. It's 82nd or you're nothing. That's as far as that goes. Great film. That
I'm getting a bit choked up just watching that sequence. I've got to say, it's such a big part of my life, Robert Redford, in terms of my film life. So, Toxic, what are your three faves?
Yeah, so I am a huge fan of Sneakers from 1992. And if you want to mute it, I've got a clip down below. I would definitely suggest muting it so you don't get shut down. But it's definitely one of my favorite Robert Redford films. And Last Castle and Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, pretty much in that order.
Yeah, Last Castle. Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you. Last Castle I saw at the cinema. Sneakers I saw at the Empire Screen 1. I quite liked Last Castle because that was James Gandolfini, wasn't it?
Yeah, I worked there. That was the military prison that I worked at.
Damn.
Isn't that cool?
No. Yeah, that's a great choice. I really like that film. Sneakers, I remember feeling slightly disappointed when I first watched it. Yeah, I feel like I need to rewatch it with.
I think you do. Yeah, give it a rewatch. Yeah. Sneakers stays in my top 20 films of all time, actually.
Right.
And it's definitely my favorite of his performances. I want to point out something right here. So this isn't actually even Redford. This is these two young guys who I don't know. Maybe you know them. These two young guys are playing younger versions of the characters that are portrayed in the film in present day, which is 1992. So this is the 60s and they're radicals. And it's a younger version of Robert Redford and a younger version of the bad guy, Cosmo, the British actor. I'm sorry, Gandhi, the British Gandhi actor. I forget his name.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job. They do such a great job. And those are my three picks. But when we go into more a deep dive, I want to tell you something that I really love about Robert Redford that he does that no other actor I've ever seen can pull off. But we'll get to that. I don't want to derail anything.
No, that's fine. I'm going to keep these intros fairly short. So to recap, Sneakers, The Last Castle, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Rachel's was A Bridge Too Far, The Horse Whisperer, and what was your other one?
Out of Africa, I think she said.
Out of Africa, which you think is boring.
Oh, did you say Out of Africa? You did say Out of Africa. Oh, fuck,
yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I like Out of Africa. I like Out of Africa.
Next,
I love his character.
Northern B-starred. How are you, sir?
How you doing? All right. And don't worry about the me going down one sub. I mean, it happens. I think Kiefer just mentioned that. I think YouTube might have unsubscribed a few of my subscribers automatically. I don't know.
We accidentally just lost Toxic, but Give me your 3 picks real quick, and then we'll get back into them later.
Oh, it's probably going to be a bit more obvious. Like, obviously, 3 Days in the Condor, which I've only seen once years ago, but I was really intrigued by it as well, and it seems like one. Yeah, really good conspiracy thriller. Like I said, it's been a long time since I watched it, and
give me next. We can get into it later.
Yeah, and the Sting and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
The Sting is absolutely in my top 3.
It is brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of his best performances and one of his best films. I would say the same about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I'm putting Butch and the Sting as 2 of the 4 options that people can vote for in the chat. There will be a vote coming up soon. It's good that we've got Doctor Who, Tom Baker in the chat. Great to see you popping in. And sorry, we'll bring Toxic back. Next, we have Leroy in the house.
Hey, how is everybody?
Not too bad, sir. If I could just have your... Was that all 3 of yours? Sorry, Northern. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Leroy, give me your 3 choices. It doesn't matter if anybody else has picked them already. Please say the ones you intended to say.
All right. 2 of them, ironically, since I'm wearing my United States Air Force veteran T-shirt, 2 of my 3 favorite Robert Redford movies are military inspired.
Go for it.
The Last Castle, which I think Lord Toxicity mentioned.
He did, yeah.
And Lions for Lambs, which was not only one of Robert Redford's best performances, but also Tom Cruise's best performance.
Tom Cruise's performance in that is great. That's I remember his speech. We're taking the high ground.
Now, the number 1 Robert Redford movie I thought was his best, which, believe it or not, is the first time I ever saw Robert Redford. One of Robert Redford's films was Jeremiah Johnson. That was the first movie I ever saw him star in. It's the first time I ever heard of him. I was a child when my dad rented it. It was a good movie. I've seen Last Castle and Lions for Lambs only once. I've seen Jeremiah Johnson at least 5-6 times.
Have you seen The Sting, Leroy?
No, I've never seen The Sting.
Oh, mate, do you know what?
I've never seen all of Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. I've seen some of it. I wasn't all that impressed with Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
All right, we'll come back to torturing you in a bit, Leroy. Critical is in the house. Critical.
Good evening. We almost went another week without losing a great, didn't we?
Yeah, well, almost. Your three was it last week we were just talking about Graham Greene? Was that last week?
Yep.
I think it was the week before last. We were talking about Graham Greene.
I have a feeling
we've gone one.
I have a feeling there'll be a third. They always come in 3, so there's going to be a third one. Yeah, and we said this on the Nielsen ratings. I think it was about 6 months ago, or maybe like even towards the end of last year, and there were 3 people, and then literally there were 2. And I said on the Tuesday night, there's going to be another one, and then the third one who went, I can't remember who it was. It was the biggest of all. And
I remember when James Earl Jones died, and we talked about him.
It might have been James Earl Jones, might have been the third one, and you guys were all like, "Lance, you cursed it. You said it out loud." And
you are the angel of death, Lance. It's well known.
Don't say that, man. Listen, it's a fact. They always happen in 3s. There's always 3. So just can't get away from it. What are your choices, Critical?
Okay, so the first one is 3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah.
The second one is actually Lions for Lambs, which I very much enjoyed. And I think Robert Redford also directed that one.
I think you might be right.
And then my third one is one that hasn't been mentioned yet, but I really enjoyed it. And it's The Natural.
Now,
I remember that. I definitely saw that one.
I absolutely love The Natural. I've got the soundtrack. I bought it on, it was like the 2nd or 3rd VHS tape I ever got. And I didn't know anything about it because it didn't get a release in the UK, sadly.
Critical's right. Robert Redford did direct Lions for Lambs.
Yeah. Thank you. But Natural, yeah, it's great. There's a director's cut of The Natural out. I did not know that. So I wonder what extra stuff.
I'll have to try and track that down. How much extra's in it?
I don't know, but the trailer for it is on the IMDb page. So if you go in, it's digitally remastered, never seen before footage. exclusive interviews,
cool.
etc. I would love to get that actually, because I really do like that film. It's got a fantastic cast. You got Glenn Close, Kim Basinger, Barbara Hershey, Richard Farnsworth, who I absolutely loved in everything he was in. Joe Don Baker, I love.
Robert Duvall's in it. I think Glenn Close is in that one.
Yeah, it's a really young Michael Madsen. He's only got a couple of lines, but he's there. Just a great sports movie. The music I just really love the music.
Lance, can I say something?
Very quickly.
What I loved about Robert Redford is that he was so talented that you can watch any of his movies only once, and you can remember everything that happened on that film. Like, I've only seen The Natural, Last Castle, and Lions for Lambs, and even one of the Avenger movies where he played a villain only once, and he left an impression on me.
Yeah,
that's how talented he was. You could watch only his movies once, and you never forget the performance he makes.
I think that's a really astute and very accurate observation, because some of these films I have only seen once or twice, but I can definitely think of at least 2 or 3 scenes from even the ones I've only seen a couple of times that I could recount in some detail now. And then the others that I've probably only seen The Natural, maybe, even though I own a copy of it, I've probably only seen The Natural, watched it all the way through maybe 7 times. 3 Days of the Condor I've seen twice, maybe 3 times. Brubaker, which is my third choice, which no one's mentioned yet. And it was a toss-up for me between Brubaker and The Natural. And I just think Brubaker, for me, at the time I watched it, was the more impactful film, because it was the first time I'd seen a prison movie set in America that wasn't like a comedy, that wasn't like stir crazy or had that Mean Machine, had that slightly sort of comedic bent. This was straight up proper horrible. And it also had Yaphet Kotto in, who I'm a massive fan of. So but we have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, we have The Sting, we have 3 Days of the Condor, and The Last Castle got mentioned more than once. So I'm going to put that as the 4th option. So there you go. The poll has now gone live in the chat. Which is your favorite Robert Redford performance / movie? You can pick for either of those reasons. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sting, you've got The Last Castle in there, and also 3 Days of the Condor. I have a feeling 3 Days of the Condor will come last, because it's quite a slow boil, that film. It is a good film, but it's quite a slow boil. All right, so we're going to talk about Robert's career. We are going to cover another series that me and Luke have both watched called Unspeakable. I do want to talk about that because we put that off already from the previous week, so we will get into that later. So if you're tuning in to hear about that, we'll tell you about it. Toxic's got a full and detailed report about David Geffen's divorce from his young husband, so I'm looking forward to hearing all about that. But before we get into those exciting news articles, we'll focus more on Mr. Redford. So I want to talk about, going to pick a choice, and then I'm going to ask different people to talk about different films. But I also want all of my guests to try and remember, and it would have been television, when was the first time you ever saw Robert Redford in anything? And I mean, it's hard to remember for me the exact film. I mean, I'm tempted to say Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but I'm going to have a quick look on his IMDb just to be sure, because there may be something that I might remember that did. But this is one of the actors that I grew up with. And as soon as I'd seen him in a couple of movies, a bit like Gene Hackman, a bit like Jimmy Caan, a bit like Elliot Gould, these were actors that if they were in a movie, I wanted to watch it. Now, no one's mentioned All the President's Men, which is interesting.
That is a good one, though.
It is a good one.
He guest starred on last season of Dark Winds. I saw that episode.
I haven't watched that. show. What is that about, Leroy?
It's a Native American cop show on the Navajo Indian Reservation in the 70s. In the last season, Robert Redford and the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, they have a cameo appearance on one of last season's episodes. They play
cool.
Two old guys who are playing chess while behind bars on the Navajo Indian Reservation.
Okay, I feel
yeah,
like
they're the producers for it.
We should definitely collectively try and watch the first few episodes of that show.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
It is.
Yeah,
that's another piece of homework.
I know. I met the star Zon McClernand once while I was at my cousin's graduation from film school in California.
Don't spoil anything from the second season, please. I've only seen the first season.
We'll come back to that. So I just want to. So his first ever appearance, this is kind of interesting, was in an episode of Maverick, 1960.
Oh wow!
So all of us, apart from Luke, would have been not born by then. But Northern Bastard is not well known because he's from that part of the country. He's a bit like the Dunedain. He's actually 257 years of age. It's all the beer.
You have to really zoom in on the map to find us.
That's right. Really, I mean, like proper. But looking through, I mean, I wouldn't have been watching any of that TV stuff because I wasn't born then. But Jeremiah Johnson is a film that I saw, but much later. I didn't watch The Way We Were. I've never seen it all the way through. I have to say, and it's not a film I've gone back to. I feel like maybe I should, but The Candidate, it's probably between The Candidate, The Sting, 3 Days of the Condor, and All the President's Men, because I know I saw all four of those films before A Bridge Too Far. So the first one of those that I probably sat down and watched all the way through with my parents would have been either The Sting or All the President's Men. When I saw The Sting, I was super young and I didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I watched it in the 80s that I realized, oh my God, this film is so brilliant. It was one of those ones I had to see when I was a bit older. 3 Days of the Condor had a guy with a machine gun that massacred loads of people in the first 10 minutes. So as a kid, I was really engrossed. And then sort of disappointed that there wasn't another sequence like that in the movie. But again, as an adult, really appreciated later. It was a great film. Funnily enough, All the President's Men that I stayed up to watch at the request of my parents, that I think was over like a Christmas holiday season or something. I was probably about 8 when it was first on TV. Has no action in it at all, but as a kid, I was completely engrossed in it. And I don't know if that was down to the acting of, I think this was the only time that he appeared opposite, Dustin the Nose Hoffman. So I think that's the only time they've been in a movie together, from what I can recall. And they had great chemistry, two powerhouse actors, at the top of their game. So, yeah, so it's between those four. I can't say with any accuracy. I have a feeling it was probably The Sting, because I specifically remember asking my parents if I could stay up and watch that, because it kind of looked action-y. It wasn't. I think I fell asleep, but they did let me stay up and watch it in the TV in their bedroom, I remember. So, Rachel, what was the first Robert Redford film or TV, or where did you first see him?
It probably would have been The Way We Were, because I know that we had it. My grandmother loved that movie, so I watched it quite a bit when I was a kid. That would have been the first one.
Yeah, Barbara Streisand and Redford. I've seen a couple of clips of this. It's kind of a big love story. I'm guessing someone dies, because isn't that usually the case?
No.
Oh my God, that poster. Oh.
Yeah, that's
not the best poster. That was bad.
Is that a Rachel Percy interpretation of the movie, or no?
I think I could get his nose right.
Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
I like this European poster.
That one's
the Japanese purely selling it on the stars there. So
he did a movie with this movie. Kind of reminds me of that movie with Jane Fonda, Walking Barefoot in the Park.
Yeah, which I also haven't watched. I have to say,
that was the second time I've seen him. So yeah, I'll wait till my turn. Sorry, I was just saying this movie kind of reminds me of
that. I mean, I'm sure there is stuff of his in his early career that if I go back and watch the films now, I will probably go, oh, you know, this is a really good movie, and I'm actually really enjoying this. And I think I will go back and watch The Way We Were. Is that worth my time, Rachel?
I think it is. It's it's set up as a love story, but it's really two people trying to overcome their differences and love each other despite not having all that much in common.
Right.
And whether that works out or not, you'll have to see for yourself.
I'll have to watch.
I would say this: Barbara Streisand still looks good for a woman who's in her 80s, if she is in her 80s.
Leroy, you lasted at least 9 minutes this episode before commenting on a sexy lady. Well done. Personal record.
Hey, what'd you expect? I'm a straight guy. I love women. What can I say?
So, okay, run up that flagpole. There's really no need. Right. Okay. So no one's doubting your prowess here. All right. Yeah, this movie. Yeah. Does anybody else want to say anything about The Way We Were before we move on?
No, I ain't seen it. So.
Okay, fine.
No, not seen
it. All right. So, Rachel, still your turn. Tell us about one of your picks, when you first saw it and why you've picked it.
Well, since I'm the only one that's going to talk about it, since it's boring.
Out of Africa.
Yeah, Out of Africa. That's probably my top pick.
You know what? I watched this again recently because for the very reason that, you know, young Lance didn't always appreciate the certain nuances and things of certain films. And I did watch this again recently and I was like, this is one of the ones which just isn't going to age well. It just I don't know. I still thought it was really boring.
It was based on a true story.
It's got some amazing photography. I mean, It looks incredible, this film. It was on at the cinema where I got to see it so many times at the cinema. It's got a score by Barry Gray, hasn't it? Who did the Bond movies, if I remember rightly. Around the time.
It is gorgeous. It makes you fall in love with Africa the way she loves Africa. And, you know, it becomes a character in its own way. But, yeah, I love this movie, even if it is boring.
Well, I mean, look, I'm being a bit rude, and we are here to celebrate the life and achievements and performances of Robert Redford. Klaus Maria Brando, clearly in his contract, made sure that the size of the font, take note of this, the size of the font of his billing only slightly smaller than Redford and Meryl Streep. So he was
if
clearly
he
like,
couldn't have top billing.
Yeah, and also if you look, the font of his billing is bigger than Sidney Pollack's, who directed the movie.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's a contract negotiation that took place.
Sounds like a guy with an ego problem.
Well, it happens all the time. I mean, I'm guessing. I'm telling you now that unless they were with the same agent, the agents of Redford and Street would have said equal billing on the poster, same size font, same spacing between the two, same level.
Mm-hmm.
All of that would have been hammered out by the agents because if you look at the billing of Towering Inferno, you'll see that Steve McQueen and oh my God, what's the other guy who was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Paul Newman.
Thank you, Paul Newman. They're one slightly above the other, and they're slightly misaligned, and that's how it was negotiated. That it's always considered that the one on the left is the slightly bigger star, the first one you read, because you read from left to right. So the left billing is always slightly more important. So because one got left billing, the other one went higher. So the left billing was lower, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So
even though it is her movie, you know, it's her movie.
Yeah, it's her story, isn't it? And he plays like a hunky sort of lion hunter type. She's a bit of a fish out of water character, posh English woman in a sort of loveless marriage. There's lots of really upper crust British type people really not representing the UK very well on their foreign travels as usual. And
accurate though.
Yeah, and then like she meets and falls for Redford, who's this kind of hunky, slightly out there hunter. Doesn't he get like buried on top of a hill overlooking the vista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. It's
next to a lion he shot or something. I don't know.
I don't think it's next to a lion, but
it's got this like.
But yeah,
it's a bit like the score really is. I don't know about Barry. Barry Gray is a composer. I like him. I find his music overwhelms the films sometimes. And
John Barry.
John Barry, thank you. Barry Gray did Thunderbirds. John Barry, thank you for the correction. And this film and Dances with Wolves were two movies where the score was totally necessary. In Dances with Wolves, it reinforced what was a really good film. Here, I felt like it was trying to make up for dramatic, underscore drama that wasn't really there. Because not a lot happens in this movie, does it really? Well, tell me the most exciting part.
Well, it's more the most exciting parts of the film.
When it ends, when the credits come up.
When she's having to hold on to land. No, not when the credits come up. Stop it. But, when she gets there and it's a complete mess, it's more about her personal journey more than, an exciting movie.
Yeah. What would you give out of
love of the land and the people?
What would you give Out of Africa out of 10?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I'd give it a
without a doubt.
I'd give it a 6. Anyone else who's seen it, give it your vote now. If you've seen it in the chat, please vote.
I'd give it a 5. I get a 5 just for the sweeping vistas of the film, but I mean, I've never been able to make it through it without falling asleep. I'm sad to say.
Right, so I'm not wrong. It's a bit meandering and it's a bit up its arse, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's a bit up its arse, but Redford is good in it. I don't think he saves the movie, but yeah. But Rachel likes it, and that's what's important.
That's what's important.
That's what's important. Rachel liked it. So let's move on. Toxic.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to? What was the first thing you saw Redford in?
Yeah, so I thought, because my dad was such a Western guru, much like one of our esteemed panel guests, I would have thought up until very recently that it was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But upon perusing the IMDb with you, I believe the first film that I saw was Legal Eagles, because when we first got cable, and Legal Eagles had just premiered, like late 86, early 87, and it had just come out, and they had a Daryl Hannah double feature, which was a big thing they used to do with double feature films. So they had Clan of the Cave Bear and they had Legal Eagles, and I had a big old crush on Daryl Hannah at the time, at my ripe old age of 9 or whatever it was. So I'm pretty sure it was Legal Eagles was the first one that I watched. I mean, it's a toss-up, but I'd be willing to bet that's true. And if it's not, it's a close call between that and Butch Cassidy. But Legal Eagles is a great little film.
It's a bit like a feature film length episode of LA Law.
Yes, I think I could be wrong, but I think a lot of LA Law was kind of based off of this. But that might be just me headcaning.
I mean, it came out either not long or around the same time after this. I mean, LA Law came out late 80s, early 90s, I want to say.
Even though I believe this is set in New York, though.
Yeah. And I can remember one line from the trailer where I think Deborah Winger says something along the lines of, "So we want to settle." And then Robert Redford, who is also representing the same client. So they're like a duo. No, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we don't. And I just remember that line from the trailer. I couldn't tell you anything else about the film other than I think Daryl Hannah's the client, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to get a couple hot replicants back together in another movie.
Yeah. And now I think, I'm not certain, but I think I have the vinyl soundtrack for this.
I don't think anyone's surprised at that, Lance.
and I think also I have never played it outside of the first time I got it, because it didn't have a strong instrumental score. It was just one of these ones that had a load of songs. I'm just having a quick look for it now, and I put it on one time, and like even the songs kind of like, there wasn't like a catchy, great tune, you know, like Karate Kid had, you know, You're the Best or whatever. It didn't have one of those. It just was a bit naff. The film was okay. I've not seen it since the 80s. It wasn't a film I ever thought I've got to have this film in my collection. It was enjoyable enough. I think I went to see it with my first girlfriend on kind of, we used to go up on Monday nights and see films in London, and because it was so cheap, it was like $2 for a movie, you know. That's what I can remember about it. I'm still looking to see if I'll come on camera if I can find it. What would you give this out of 10, Tox?
Boy, you know, because I haven't seen it since the 80s either, as far as by the way, they had a really big hit from Rod Stewart called Love Touch for this that stayed on the charts for quite a while. So I'm not sure I agree with you with the soundtrack. I'm never a big
Rod Stewart fan. That's probably why.
Oh, wow.
On the album, yeah, but not.
I guess I'd give it a, you know, I'd like to look at it again, because I don't think I've seen it since it was on cable in the 80s. But I remember it fondly. I remember watching it, and like, so I give it at least a 7.
We're probably going to watch it again, and compared to like recent content, it's going to be so amazing that we're going to give it like a 9.
You probably would not be wrong in that assessment, Lance. You probably would not.
You know, I think it was like a 6 or a 7 for me at the time, and I used to have a book, and where I would rate these movies, and I'm pretty sure that's what I gave it. Has anybody else seen it? And if so, give it a quick rating out of 10, and then Toxic, tell me about you can talk about one of your main picks.
Okay.
I know I had this soundtrack, by the way, and I think it's gone.
No.
I'm looking through the box where they all are, and I think the only other soundtrack I've got for a Robert Redford movie, I think, is A Bridge Too Far on vinyl. That's the only other one I've got. I don't think I've got any others.
Did anybody else want to rate this real quick before I start running my mouth about my favorite?
I've never seen it, so go ahead.
Okay. So I've got it. Go ahead, Lance. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. But tell us about one of your favorites of your 3.
Yeah, so I've got a slide down below if you want to pull it at your convenience when you get done digging through all your vinyls. So it's Sneakers is my top favorite. Not only is it my favorite Redford performance, but it's my favorite. It's in my top 20 movies of all time, and it stays there pretty consistently. I was in junior high, just getting into high school when this came on cable, and I must have watched it easily 40, 50 times. It's just got to, for those who don't know, Robert Redford plays a fugitive. During the 60s, him and his best friend were doing some sort of, I guess, early computer hacking and taking money from rich industrialist types and different companies and just giving it away to the poor. Just morally, kind of less as a political activism thing and more of just like smart college kid pranks. And, you know, his partner gets caught, he escapes, changes his name, and he makes a living with these group of pseudo criminals, except for one ex-CIA agent played by, the inimitable Sidney Poitier. And his business is to break into businesses to teach people to not get broken into by people, to help people secure their businesses.
But I forgot River Phoenix was in this.
Yeah.
I think this was one of River Phoenix's last movies.
I think probably was. Yeah, probably, unfortunately. R.I.P. River Phoenix as well. But I just love this concept. I love the movie. It's so well done. It does that thriller action comedy thing. It makes Dan Aykroyd very likable in the film, which is not always easy to do. And they have such an eclectic group of characters in this. And of course, you know, Redford leads the way in this, and it's so well done. I still quote it on a daily basis. And so one thing I wanted to mention, if I may, if you'll indulge me, about Robert Redford. This is a thing that I've never seen any other actor do. And it's so funny because the guy that plays the younger version of him in that clip that you had earlier for Sneakers.
Yeah, he looked just like Brad Pitt, by the way, that guy.
He managed to do this. So Robert Redford developed, and there's probably I wish Inside Man was here because I bet you that there's a term for this. Maybe you know it, Lance. I don't know. We'll find out. But Robert Redford had this ability while delivering his lines to interrupt himself mid-thought and make it seem so organic that you didn't think he was acting. You would think he's just a regular guy. For instance, in The Last Castle, he's delivering some interesting trivia about the wall that the inmates work on, and in the middle of his thought he interrupts himself to point out something that's on the wall that as if he just noticed it. And the actor that plays the younger version of him in this, they're talking about who they're going to take the money away from this white nationalist group and give it to the Black Panthers, and in the middle of his thought while they're talking about changing the world, the younger version of Redford, who mimicked his style perfectly, just stops himself and says, hey, you know what? Let's get a pizza. I'm hungry. Let's get a pizza. He had this great ability. I don't know what that's called in acting terms, but I would watch him do this, and I just get a giggle every time he pulled it off in The Winter Soldier as well, where, he's delivering some sort of exposition or some sort of, monologue, whatever. And then he would interrupt himself with another thought as if that thought had just occurred to him. I've never seen
segue improvisation, essentially.
Yeah. And I've never seen another actor successfully pull that off as consistently as he could. It made his style of acting so naturalistic. I mean, I'd argue, he just doesn't get enough credit, or he did not, past tense, did not get enough credit for what he was able to pull off. He would do it to, great degree in movies like Brubaker, All the President's Men. When he acted in a role, and in this and Sneakers, when he acted in a role, I never thought he was acting. I always thought I'm watching, even though he's, a very good looking dude that always looks pretty much the same. I mean, he never really did anything for, maybe, I guess, Jeremiah Johnson with the big beard and the grizzly stuff, but you could still see Robert Redford in there. You know what I mean? So, he never really, pulled a Colin Farrell with a bunch of makeup or anything but he didn't need to, because I would watch him in these roles and I would 100% believe he was the character in which he was portraying, whether it be in The Last Castle, the disgraced general, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, this, fugitive gunman on the run, one of the most famous, outlaws of the Old West, or in Sneakers, where he's playing yet again another fugitive, Marty Bishop, who is, leading this team of, dilettantes in order to, meek out a living doing pseudo crime instead of real crime, and then winds up having to do real crime in order to get out of a bigger crime. Sneakers, if you've not seen it in a while, or you've never seen it, when the stream is done, please watch. I guarantee you'll have the time of your life watching it. I really appreciate it.
I definitely need to rewatch it. I did like it when I saw it. It was a good movie. I saw a great screen, Empire Screen 1. If you've read Silver Screen Journeys, you'll know it, because you can see it in the book. Such a great screen. And I do remember I'd always go there because I would want to see films projected in 70mm, because they had a 70mm projector. By the way, David Strathairn is one of my all-time favorite actors, who's also in it. And
this cast is stacked. Stephen
Tobolsky
right there. Just all the side characters are just amazing. Great villain.
Yeah.
And of course, like you pointed out, River Phoenix is in it, and
my friend Donal Logue is in this. He's got a really small role in this, and there's a great
who is Donal Logue in this?
He's a doctor, somebody or other. He's got a one scene.
Oh, okay.
There's a great actress, a black actress in this as well, called Denise Dowse, who some people write. There's Donal Logue.
No, that is
a very young Donal Logue.
Yeah, that's Donal
Remember
Logue.
him in Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, he sort of plays that kind of hyperactive, sort of almost like a young Elon Musk type.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. No.
Wow. And this movie came out in '92.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He played in a one season and then FX show called Terriers, where he played a
he's great in Terriers.
Yeah,
I remember him in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm trying to get. He has said he will come on the show, but I just can't seem to pin him down. Sadly, because I mean, he was in Gettysburg. He's been in so many things, and the band played on, which he filmed around the same time as this. Denise Dowes was also in this, and she was an extremely accomplished actress and went on to be a great director. So this film had a really amazing hotbed of talent. I don't know if there's a picture of Denise in here. You'll probably recognize her if you see her, but she was also in the film Ray. But yeah, so even the people in the supporting roles in this film, you know, a really, really, really strong cast outside of the 5 leads. You know, on top of that, and directed by Phil Adam Robinson, who I think also directed Field of Dreams, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
Yeah, so
this film has such a great combination. They managed to make it funny without being goofy. They managed to make it suspenseful without being, you know, overblown. They managed to have a good amount of action without turning into a, you know, generic 90s. I mean, it's such a great concept.
I forgot James Earl Jones has a cameo in it as well.
Yeah, he's the NSA director. Yeah.
That's a great modern poster for this film, actually. I really like that poster.
I do too.
And I remember the trailer for it, and it always had all those flicking numbers. One of the numbers came up as like the combinations of letters, and it came up as Fort Red Border. And he was going, "Can you guarantee my safety?" And the sort of premise of the trailer was very similar to 3 Days of the Condor, but it was a completely different, tonally different type of film.
This was my introduction to Ben Kingsley. I'd never seen him in anything prior to this, and this was my first time seeing him in anything, and I just, you know, I thought he was great. He's great, really good, dynamic, slick, almost like a Bond villain that had been plucked out of a Bond movie and then put into this, which shouldn't work, but it does. So but yeah, no, great. I love this film.
Yeah, I'll give Sneakers an 8 out of 10. I need to rewatch it, but that's from my memory.
You guys got me hooked. I might watch it after this.
Hell yeah.
Watch it. Tell us what you think of it next time. Anyone else want to rate it who's seen it? Very quick.
Yeah, 8. Solid 8.
It's
good.
Nice.
Film.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice one.
Critic Out. Let's go with one of your picks, buddy. First of all, when did you first see Redford in something?
Right, so the first time I saw Robert Redford was Captain America: Winter Soldier 2014.
Right. Yeah,
I'm joking, guys.
We keep forgetting that despite your massive beard, Rasputin looks, and the fact that you're surrounded by a kingdom of spiders, you are in fact only 17 years of age.
So, how old are you?
Told you, 17. It's young, very young.
I'm 45. So the first time I actually
I'm
saw
46, and I've watched some of Robert Redford movies since I was a child. So I don't know how The Winter Soldier be the first Robert Redford movie you ever seen.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Right, the first film I actually saw Robert Redford in was probably Sneakers, to be honest.
Are you sure you're not just saying that because we just talked about Sneakers? What was the next?
No. It was either Sneakers or it was The Natural. Because I remember seeing The Natural with my dad, but I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly when I saw it. But I do remember seeing Sneakers not long after it first came out. So.
The Natural was also one of your choices, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Let's get into that because I love that film. So
it's a great film. Like Robert Redford just plays effortlessly. Like this everyday dude, you know.
Yeah, his dialogue is really minimal in this film.
Yeah, it's just like a charm offensive, I like to call it.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt did the same kind of thing in Formula One.
Yeah.
And it just turns out to be this like amazingly gifted player, even though he's not young or anything. He's not a prodigy.
That's true. I think he was supposed to be like 39 years old. The character.
Well, sounds about right. Yeah, he was sort of middle-aged, I think. Yeah, right about my age. So
the story is he's young at the beginning of the film, even though he's not young himself. But
I remember
he's portraying himself as about 10 or 15, no, 15, because his son in the movie, he has a son in the movie. I don't want to give away too many plot details, but the son that he has is at least 16 years of age. So, and fairly early on in the movie, he gets shot and injured, and then the movie time jumps, and there's about a 16-year age gap in the time jump, and then when he comes back to the sport, he's old.
Yeah.
No one thinks he's going to amount to a hill of beans, but he's got this natural gift, which may or may not be partly enhanced by the fact that he's got a magic baseball bat, which may or may not be magical, which the film sort of toys with you a little bit. I quite like the way it does.
Believing the magic.
Yeah.
It lets you, it leaves it up to you, doesn't it, really? So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think the key message of the film is believe in yourself.
Yeah.
If magic helps, that's all well and good, but believe in yourself.
It's kind of like that kind of where the guy thinks he's got something magical and it turns out to not be magical. So it was in you the whole time, kind of thing. So,
and Wilford is no longer with us. I know Wilford Brimley.
Wilford Brimley died a few years ago. He was the last cast member of Cocoon to die.
Was he actually the last one? Wow.
He was, yeah. And his character in this, he shot this just before he filmed Cocoon. His character in this is older than, or as old as his character in Cocoon, but he was about 15 or 20 years younger than all of his co-stars in Cocoon. He just looked as old as them. Yeah,
it's that diabetes. The diabetes agent.
Diabetes. Barbara Hershey's kind of really sexy and alluring in this.
Have you seen her lately?
No.
She's hideous.
No. Well, you know.
Yeah, this was a while ago, to be fair. This is like, what, 84?
She's 84, yeah. So, I mean, she's going to be, you know.
It's 40 years. Give her a break.
41 years ago, Leroy. Don't be so mean. No, we all
I'm just being honest, man.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, come on. So Joe Don Baker's got a small role as the Whammer. I mean, one of the things I really love about this movie is it's a period film. It's kind of set in the 20s, isn't it? And it's really great because it's like it's mostly set in a city. You know, they're visiting sort of major baseball stadiums, and they did a really good job of kind of populating that stadium with extras in all the period clothing and stuff. Few cardboard cutouts probably, which is what they used to do before CGI. Kim Basinger, very young
Kim Basinger.
Yeah, he's pretty good in this. Elmer Shaw.
5 years before Batman, so yeah.
Where and when did you first see this, mate?
It would have been with my dad. It would have been just on TV with my dad. He wasn't even a massive sports fan. We just ended up watching whatever was on. I would have been pretty damn young. I reckon I would have been like 9 or 10 maybe.
Right.
And yeah, so like, because we didn't rent it. I know that. I think it just came on TV, and it took like what 4 or 5 years for films to come out like on TV. It was just a random BBC watch or something, but I just remember like liking it.
Such a great.
I've watched it once since a long time ago.
I might, you know what? I hope one of the streaming services has got it because I'm not sure when my DVD for this is, but
it is on Amazon. I think.
Is it free? Is it free? But Amazon is
yeah, it is.
It's 2 minutes of adverts now before a movie starts. What the fuck?
You can watch movies on Blu-ray. You can watch movies on Blu-ray. That's what I do sometimes.
Hey, listen, guys. Bezos got to pay that money to his ex-wife, so don't be judgmental.
Yeah, but I don't have to pay it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Apparently, you do.
When the adverts come on,
got to make up for the bloody money that he's pumping into Power.
That's when I switch over to Netflix. He's losing out because I turn off. I don't watch those adverts. I turn off. I make a choice and I turn off, or I put some.
Boy, remember when we used to have commercials? What did you do back in the days of commercials?
I went out. went to the kitchen and went, "Mum, where's the biscuit bin?"
It's on Amazon, but it's one of those stupid ones that you've got to pay for. So, meh.
I want to spend a little time talking about Lance going after the biscuit bin. I told you, Lance, there's no more biscuits before supper, didn't I?
Yeah, that's just incredibly uncanny resemblance to my parents. Yeah. Is this not the same location? I mean, maybe it's just the
Untouchables
set. The Untouchables, where the girl walks out the cafe and it blows up.
Same location. Good call. Good catch, Lance.
Yeah. Now,
thanks a lot, Lance. I won't get that image out of my head.
Is that the backlot of Paramount where that was shot?
I would assume it is, since they're both Paramount movies. That'd be a pretty good. That'd be a pretty safe guess. I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know they've got a backlot where they've got this underpass with the, what you would call the Chicago L.
Yeah. No. Good eye. Good eye.
Yeah.
Good eye for that. Yeah.
And I've seen it in
Mister. You forgot your briefcase.
Boom.
Yeah. And I mean, I know
that scene traumatized me big time.
Streets of Fire, I know, built their set largely from scratch, but I mean, it may well have been that part of that set was then appropriated by other productions, which may have remained on the lot. So this could have also been part of the Streets of Fire set, which would have shot just before this.
I've not seen that, so I'd have to take your word for it. But wow, look at Glenn Close's smoke show back then.
Yeah. I like the way that the hat actually doesn't have a top. It's more like a big circular ribbon that wraps around the head.
I just noticed that.
The head pokes out the top. Look at the guy behind her checking out something.
He's looking at the guy in front of him. He's got a betting sheet or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh, so okay. That's the young Robert Redford in the stand, sort of thing. Well, the young son.
That guy who just went past 2 slides ago. He's a really great character actor. When he
Richard Farnsworth, I love him.
Yeah,
The Straight Story was such a great little movie.
I love that they threw him in at the end of the remake of The Getaway.
Right. Yeah.
Also with Kim Basinger, actually.
Yeah. That remake was okay. I need to rewatch that.
I love that. I
need to rewatch both those films, actually. The original and
I'm going to try and get the director's cut you were talking about. I don't know how much extra's been added, but
is it? Can you look it up on Amazon and see if it's available?
It's on there, but it's one of those ones you've got to buy, which is really annoying.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go and steal it, so I'm assuming I have to buy it. But is it available on?
I don't know if it's a director's cut though. That's the thing.
Well, this is why I'm asking you if it's available.
Yeah, it just says the natural. The director's cut, because the film is not short.
No, it's a good 2 hours,
2 hours
20
long.
minutes. 2:20, I would say.
Oh wow.
At least.
Let's have a look.
I'm also looking. I mean, I really love the music in this film. Rachel, have you seen this movie?
Oh yeah, it was another one that was a frequent watch.
So the Natural is available on a 4K. I haven't got 4K, of course. Ultra doodah type thing that doesn't say what extras or.
It doesn't say which version it is. It just says this is an anniversary edition. So I don't know if that's the director's cut.
Other pick used on Region 1, but this is the shorter UK version. So that's interesting. This is the standard UK version, which is shorter, but still a great.
To be fair, that's going to be the version that I've watched. I'll be interested in checking out the director's cut.
I wonder which version I've seen because it didn't feel like a short film, and I feel like when I watch it again on telly, I do feel like now I think about it, I feel like some scenes might have been missing.
Well, they did that a lot in the 80s, Lance. They did that thing where
TV cuts.
TV
loads of stuff was edited for television.
Cut for running time to fit in the slot.
But then they'd also add scenes too.
Yeah.
That's why people have that silly ass what do the millennials call that thing that they think they have, the whatchamacallit experience, or what the
toxic streaking down the corridor experience?
The Mandela effect. People say
the Mandela effect,
because I remember this movie differently when it's really just you saw a different version on TV.
Either way,
I mean there's a classic arc that I remember perfectly from the cinema that has never been in any cut of the film ever since.
For the longest time, the Donner cut of Superman that I had seen when I was younger, where they throw the thing at the kid and she says, they're like, you just murdered a 16-year-old boy, and she's like, who will never become a man. I would say that to people who were Superman fans. They had no idea what that was. It
I
took me
remember
to have
that
to
scene.
Google it. Thank you, Leon.
Well, I highly recommend The Natural. The Natural's a 9 out of 10 for me. Ratings, please.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8. I don't know if I can give it. I'm just not massively into baseball films, but I really did like it. He's a really charming guy, charm offensive. It's a really cool story. It's like about a guy who's got like a bat that I think he carves it from a tree that got hit by lightning or something.
Yep,
that's right.
Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
And it's like, you know, that's his power. But it's really cool. It's a good film. It really is. I quite enjoyed it. It's not my favorite Robert Redford film, but I think it's the first one that I saw him in. I think so.
Yeah,
I'd give it a solid 6. I'm not a big baseball fan.
6.
I'd give it a 10.
6. Oh my god!
Leroy comes back with a 10. Good decision, Leroy. Rachel.
The reason why I give it a 10,
wow.
I only saw it once.
I'd give it a 9.
I only saw it once while I was in high school on a field trip. But like I said,
you remember
Robert Redford leaves something behind that you never forget. You can see the movies once and you can remember the performance. He was that good. And the movie, great storyline, and great acting from everybody, including Robert Redford. So from what I remember, I can't say anything bad about this movie. So I give it a 10. Even though
Leroy, let's go with one of your picks, Lion for Lambs, next. But before we do, tell us, when was the first time Robert Redford came to your attention? What was the first thing you remember?
The very first Robert Redford movie I ever saw was Jeremiah Johnson.
Right.
And I was either in first or second grade. And not only was the very first movie that I saw starring him, but it was the first Western that because my dad used to rent movies all the time when I was growing up. This was the very first Western movie I ever seen that did not star John Wayne or Clint Eastwood.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
So because my dad grew up on watching John Wayne movies and Jimmy Stewart, and then when I came around, Clint Eastwood. So, and what made Jeremiah Johnson so unique that it wasn't cowboys and Indians that I was used to seeing. This was about the mountain men, or after or during the tail end of the fur trade era. So by that time, I didn't know anything about the fur trade or mountain men. But and this is probably the only movie with Robert Redford I've seen more than once.
Would this have been a key influence on you as a writer later, this film? I would think
actually
so, yeah.
No, it wasn't. Because like I said, I was still a child when I saw it. And
yeah, but don't you think it planted some subconscious seeds?
I like to think so, but no. The first Western that kind of planted seeds to me to want to become a writer as far as about the fur trade was Into the West, which I saw years later than after I saw this. But surprisingly, Jeremiah Johnson didn't. It was still a good movie, but it didn't plant any seeds on wanting me to become a writer. Because again, like I said, when I first saw it, I was still a child, and last time I even saw it in its entirety, I wasn't even out of high school yet, so I haven't seen it in years.
Fair enough.
But my favorite scene from this movie is when he first enters the mountains and he's fishing. It's winter. It's his first winter. He's trying to catch fish, and the crow warrior sees him, and he's like staying. He's not shaking, but he's looking at the rifle, knowing that his rifle's like he's in the middle of the creek and the rifle's on the land, and he's like, I'm doomed. But the warrior, then when he sees that warrior again with bear claw Chris Lapp tells him, he says, you fish poorly. I thought that was kind of funny.
Do you know if this is the same
grizzly bear scene?
Is this the same bear that they used in that TV show about the kid and the bear having adventures? That was in the 70s.
I don't know. But
I wonder if this is the same bear, because they kind
Gentle
of
Ben.
Yeah, Gentle Ben. Yeah.
I think it was the same bear.
And this is Sidney Pollack directed this, right? Sidney Pollack directed this, because there he is on set. It's got to be a Sidney Pollack film, right?
And Lance,
why are you saying his name like that? It's Pollock.
Is it Pollock?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I always thought that's how you pronounced it.
And Lance, here's and this is when I first saw Jeremiah Johnson. I had no idea that it was based on a true story, that there really was a man named Jeremiah Johnson. Robert Redford had his had the real Jeremiah Johnson's body or remains moved to Wyoming, I think.
So this is an interesting photograph because you've got Robert Redford. I'm going to assume it's his first wife, Shauna, on location. And that, his first wife, Lola, and his daughter Shauna on the right. I'm guessing Shauna didn't go into the film industry because I certainly haven't heard of her producing or doing any other kind of roles. But that's a cool photo right there. It says so much. Very interesting. Who else has seen this movie?
Anyone?
No, I have not seen this movie.
I mean, I definitely saw this when it came out because I remember him trying to catch the fish. That was a big sequence. Rachel, did you like it?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's, I love Westerns anyway, but I probably saw this as a kid and watched it again. I think I watched it again a couple months ago, and it's so much better than I remembered it being as a kid. I probably just wasn't really into it then. But yeah, it's great movie.
Lola Van Wagenen is still alive. She's now 86, but she's still around. Her and Redford were married from 1958 until 1985. I have to say, for a star of his caliber, that's a pretty good innings on the Hollywood marriage front. And he was only married.
He married her in 2009.
2009, yeah. He only married one more time, and she actually was in the industry. She worked predominantly. She was mainly an activist, but she also worked in producing and film documentaries and this kind of thing. So she kind of was in the biz, but sort of in the other side of the biz. And
it should be noted that Robert Redford also suffered a lot of tragedies. Out of his 4 children, only 2 are still with us. His eldest died from SIDS, and his surviving son, James, died from some sort of cancer 5 years ago.
So what happened to the girl here on the right here?
She's still alive.
Okay. Well,
and so is only his daughters. His 2 daughters are still alive.
His mother died. 7 grandkids.
Yeah, James Redford died in 2020.
25 years ago. Some bile duct cancer or something like that.
Right. God, yeah. And he was only 58. That's really sad.
Yeah. I can't imagine as a parent losing your child. I mean, that's not supposed to happen.
Well, I guess I'm lucky in the context that I don't have kids. So at least that's one tragedy I will be able to avoid. Let's move on to other things. I've definitely seen this. I definitely remember this. This film was like very funny in places because it did play on that whole. He was kind of learning his way, and the Indians were sort of humoring him, and I do remember little bits of it, but it was also quite brutal. And this was one of the first westerns that was shot in what felt like the real landscape of the the ferocious West that was unexplored, and people didn't know about the weather conditions and how mountain passes might turn to snow so quickly, this kind of thing. It had a realism to it. I remember this scene with this kid as well. So I definitely did see this. I've only seen this once, probably when it was shown on telly.
The meme for it has become legendary.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more famous for the meme now, the nod.
Yeah.
What's the meme? Can someone show the meme?
It's just the drawing of Robert Redford just giving a nod of approval.
It's like, it's used in different contexts, but it's almost always.
That's from this.
Yeah.
That's what I just said. That's what I'm telling you.
I thought, that's the one you posted, Toxic, on my Facebook today.
Yeah.
That meme, I always thought that was a completely different actor. I'll be honest.
Oh wow, no, it's it's usually something to do with it's either a meme or a GIF. Usually something to do with something masculinity. Like Sydney Sweeney wears something extra tight to the Madam Webb premiere, and then that'll pop up underneath it, or guy dates 3 chicks and ghosts all 3 of them after coitus or something. It's like something manly that and then it zooms in on his face smiling.
I actually thought that this was this is it. I'll put my hand up and say I actually thought that this was an actor from Gumball Rally. And I thought it was one of his movies that I hadn't seen. And I hadn't seen Jeremiah Johnson in so long. And he looks so different here. He really does look a bit different. He looks older and much older than he would have been. I just didn't.
Epic beard, the epic beard syndrome of films. It's because it's just a bastion of masculinity. It's Robert Redford. He's got a huge beard. He's giving that approving grin. It's in the wild, and it's just been associated with some. Anytime you see that pop up, it's usually something like that. It's really funny every time.
Northern, where did you first see Mr. Redford?
The first thing I saw him in was probably Spy Game. That was 20 years ago. And for some reason, I must have tried to get into it twice, but never could for some reason. And
that's the one with Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, which they both look alike as well. Which is,
it's not. I never really got into that movie.
I mean,
no, it's very. Yeah, the trailer's like the best thing about it, and I remember seeing the trailer for it when I saw Last Castle, and it looks really, really good, but it's just the idea of young Brad Pitt, or not even young Brad Pitt, but like a younger version of Robert Redford working with Robert Redford in the form of Brad Pitt was the big notoriety of them in that, the older senior agent and the younger guy doing this kind of it's just been done before much better and in different things. But I mean, it's not a bad film by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not super. It's a little dry.
So that's why I just kept feeling bored. Maybe I was watching it because it was really late. I don't know, but twice I just couldn't get into it. It's
So sorry to segue quickly. In my defense, this is the actor I thought that was. Can you see why?
No.
Yeah, he's not.
No.
I mean, they're both white men and they both have beards, but other than that,
dude, they look pretty similar. Come on.
Yeah, he looks as much like Redford and Jeremiah Johnson as you look like Quentin Tarantino.
Dude, come on, man. Like that could be that guy.
Yeah, you're literally the only person saying that, Lance.
He's not getting any better.
No one is co-signing it. You just quit trying to die on that hill. That's clearly Robert Redford. But
I just didn't know it was Redford. My God, I feel so embarrassed.
That's all right.
Right. Okay. So sorry, Luke. Please continue. So you first saw him in Spy Game, which was a bit shite. Talk to us about one of your picks.
Well, I've got to go obvious with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I know it's an obvious one, but
that's one of mine.
How can you not, though? How can you not? I mean, he's
my head.
Yeah, you got that great song. You got this great tale about these two very charismatic, outlaws who are kind of like starting to realize that maybe, being an outlaw might not be as fun as it used to be, as things are getting harder. They've got the law on them more and more often, and even when they do try to go straight, they end up kind of going back to square one. And these are two really fun characters who you can tell are really having fun together as well.
These guys should have done more movies together, man.
Yeah, I mean,
they should have done. Yeah. Because is this the only one? I think this and the Sting.
Yeah, the Sting. Another good one. That's my other pick.
We'll talk about the Sting next.
We forgot to rate Jeremiah Johnson.
Sorry, Leroy. Let's do that.
Yeah,
what would you? It was your pick, Leroy. What would you rate?
Yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe because from what I remember, it was very long, but it wasn't a bad movie. It's just that it was long. But like what I liked about it, like I said, it was the first Western movie that I ever saw that didn't star John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. And it turned out better than, believe it or not, I liked it better than any Western that John Wayne or Clint Eastwood ever made.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Who else has seen it recently enough to give it a rating?
I have.
Go for it.
I'd give it a 7. It's not one of my favorite westerns by any stretch of the imagination, but I do really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I haven't watched it since I first saw it was I kind of liked it when I first saw it, but it wasn't like a film that I wanted to track down later, if that makes sense. It also made me feel very cold, a bit like that DiCaprio movie.
Revenant.
Yeah. I love the Revenant, even though it's historically inaccurate.
Well, yeah, you can definitely see the influence on the Revenant from Jeremiah Johnson. All right, so let's go to Butch Cassidy. So sorry, Luke. Great pairing, as people have said. And Catherine Ross is very good. Were you not watching? Yeah, she is. When did you watch this, Luke? When did you first see this?
Years ago on TV, and because I had seen Beverly Hills Cop before this, I kind of was like, okay, what does he mean by that last scene in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and why is Taggart so pissed off at him? And I'm like, yeah, now I know. Now I know.
Did you not kind of have a moment where, like, suddenly when it was like raindrops keep falling, did you not go, what the fuck is going on? And then you also
I'd heard that song before. It didn't bother me.
I'd heard it before. I just didn't expect to hear it in a cowboy movie, which did come a bit left field. I didn't.
Well, it was better. It is. The soundtrack is done by Bacharach, and this the soundtrack does feel more 60s than the actual Wild West, doesn't it?
Because it's got, and it, like, during chase sequences, there's kind of like that bum ba bum ba. Yeah,
it didn't really bother me because I was always liking old films and the older, music like they did in these movies. I always kind of liked that more anyway, so it didn't really bother me. But now I look back on it, yeah, it is kind of like it doesn't really feel like a typical Western score. But then again, neither did the Spaghetti Westerns, which had come out, the Fistful of Dollars, which came out years before this, and I mean that music had like electric guitars going down in an old setting where electric guitars weren't even invented yet. So
I mean, you could say it was ahead of its time in a way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those westerns that's also about the dying of that period. Because
yes,
I think a motor car appears, doesn't it, at one point in the movie?
Well, it's the Pinkertons are taken over. It's like the Wild West is basically over. They're the last bastion of the Wild West, and modernized crime is not as easy as just grabbing a 6-shooter and getting on a horse anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing that's great about this movie is it's got one of the best endings of a film ever.
It is brilliant as well. I mean, it's like it's just a cut. They just pause. They just freeze the picture, zoom right out. You hear the gunshots. You know what's happened.
I remember turning to my parents and saying, and this is the freeze, and saying to them, "Mum, Dad, what happened?" And my dad went, "They escaped." He didn't want to spoil it for me because I mean they were the villains, really, but it's the classic anti-hero film, isn't it?
Lance, can I say something? It is rumored that the real Butch Cassidy survived that shootout, and later on in his years, he visited his relatives somewhere back in the Midwest. Years after he supposedly been killed in South America.
Was this a sequence where he came out of the desert and rambled and looked a bit like Emilio Estevez? Was it that kind of thing?
No, that's Young Guns too.
I know that's Young Guns too, but it does sound a bit like that kind of same situation.
Hey, it could happen in Young Guns 3. He meets up with Butch Cassidy as an old man.
I can't believe they're making a Young Guns 3.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That is so bizarre.
There's a great
ideas.
In the 1998 film, The Negotiator, with Kevin Spacey and Samuel Jackson, they have this really wonderful meta conversation over the phone with each other about this movie and a couple other where Sam Jackson's character believes that Shane lived at the end of
that's right, the end of Shane.
Yeah. And then he says, "Oh, if you believe that, then what do you think happens at the end of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?" So it's just like I always thought that was, which I had watched that movie like sometime, I guess I would have been like 21. So I had already seen, and I remember watching it with a bunch of people who didn't know what Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was. They have a really great prequel to this with William Catt from Greatest American Hero.
I've seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's
really good.
It's not a bad film.
It's good. It's really good. It's better than it has
any because Great American Hero was a terrible show.
Well, okay, it's debatable.
Looking back on it, it was a terrible show.
I mean,
saw when I watched it recently.
All right, well, fair enough. But yeah, it's this is what I like about Redford in this is the way he plays it, because he lets Newman do all the charismatic and whereas he's the kind of dangerous gunslinger. I love the part where he's gonna get in a fight for the leadership of the team, and he's like, "Hey, I don't want to be a sore loser, but if he kills me, go ahead and take him out." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
Yeah, I remember that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, great film. Got to give this. I don't know that I can give this a 10, but it's definitely a 9. I don't know that I can give it a 10.
No, it's almost near perfect, this movie. I can barely find a flaw in it.
Near perfect. I don't know that it's a perfect movie, but it's
at least a 9.5.
I don't believe in a perfect movie, but it's up there with the.
I'd give it a 9. Rachel.
Oh, I have to agree. It's definitely a 9. It's not perfect. It has its flaws.
I give it an 8 because I never saw it in its entirety.
Oh, not even sure
and
you can give it that.
I did see were pretty good though.
Okay, you need to see the whole thing, Leroy. Don't give up so easily.
Since this was your pick, Northern, can I ask a quick question? Where do you rate this against Silverado?
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good line here, but yeah, obviously I haven't seen Silverado yet.
Wait, what?
Hey,
You've
never
seen
Silverado? No, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, you gotta watch Silverado. Dude, it's one of the best.
I told you
that
I was gonna snitch you out.
Dude, it's right up there with Cocoon, which of course
I told him, Lance. I told him that I was gonna snitch on him on the next Outcast to you. That he had.
You all know that 1985 is his kryptonite.
Yeah. All right, let me ask all of you a question.
I was trying to think of a good witty one-liner, but nothing was coming. So yeah.
I caught you.
Let me ask all of you a question. How would you rate this against Lonesome Dove?
Lonesome Dove is a mini series.
Yeah,
it's still a western, but
it's not a. It's tonally, it's completely different. It's a western, and that's the only thing the two things have in common, in my opinion.
I do like the book. The book Lonesome Dove's really good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read a Western book.
Hell, I read it.
You got a Western author on the panel. Why did you say that?
No, wait, lad. No, wait. I have read a Western book. Yeah.
By the way, this is Northern's build up to committing to buying all of Leroy's books this side of Christmas. So, just to let you know. Dan Candy thought that Silverado was just okay. That's a banning
ban.
That's a ban. That's like an instant ban forever.
That's crazy talk, Daniel. Daniel, that is crazy.
The next unit named after you in my American Civil War game is going to be called the Dan Randys. Okay, so
clearly trolling.
Silverado's fucking excellent film.
Epic.
So it's not particularly. I mean, it is a 10 out of 10 from me, but I get what he's saying. It's not like it's not a film that blows you away in terms of it does new things. It just does all the best things that Westerns do, and it tries to include them all. That's what I really liked about it. Great characters, great story. But we'll do a Silverado special another time.
Oh, I don't think Lance is going to be able to, or Luke's going to be able to attend. Lance, I don't know.
We'll just call it "Why Dan Candy Was Wrong About Silverado."
I'm going to try and watch that on Saturday, Silverado, because I think, I've been meaning to watch it, and I don't know why I've been putting it off, but I will.
You don't want us to bully.
Anyway, okay, all right. So make sure you do watch it, dude. All right, let's move on. Look, I've just found a clip of Robert Redford. What film's this? Oh, wait, it's that dude in the beard again. Sorry. Right, okay.
The weird hill to die on, Lance. You're not going to sell that to nobody's buying that.
Hey, Lance, You know what movie Robert Redford did that shocked the living daylights out of me?
Yeah.
Captain America, Winter Soldier, where he played a villain. That's probably the first movie I've seen him play.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. That's a Marvel film and it's superhero shit. Okay, we're going to move on. But Leroy, we are going to talk about one of your choices, Lions for Lambs.
Yes.
And I actually, to be fair, I did like Winter Soldier. I thought it was a good movie. It was one of the few that I actually really enjoyed. Lions for Lambs, I also saw this in the cinema. I think this is one of the times when I used to pay for my ex-flatmate because he never had any money, and I thought he was a good guy.
Is that James Garfield or Andrew Garfield?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Yep.
I only saw this movie once. I didn't even know that was him.
My ex-flatmate was not Andrew Garfield.
He's young.
Just to clear that up. Yeah, this is one of Tom Cruise's best movies. Yeah,
I agree.
Young Andrew Garfield, Michael Pena gets left on the mountain.
I thought Meryl Streep was great in it as well, to be honest.
She is. I think the thing with this movie that that didn't quite work for me was at one point I felt like I was watching a really amazing play, like A Few Good Men. These scenes were like you were watching a great stage play, actors at the top of their game, going at it, trying to explain, why this new combat philosophy was working. And then the next thing, we were juxtapositioning to the actual outcome product of that. We're taking the higher ground. I always remember that line. And then we're in the helicopter with the guys. They get ambushed by a GPMG on top of a mountain. They decide not to land the chopper. Two guys fall out or one guy falls out?
The guy jumps after him.
Yeah, his best mate jumps after him. That's right. Yeah. Sort of loosely based on a true story. There was an incident that happened that was very much like that. I can't remember the whole thing, but Toxic would probably know. But I don't know. The juxtaposition between those two narratives in terms of tone and acting style jarred a little bit for me. I still thought it was a very good film. It wasn't one of my favorites. I think I thought it was going to be a bit more cohesive, but still a good film. Still something I would watch again. In fact, I'd like. Yeah, it's your pick. Sorry,
what I loved about this film, especially not just Robert Redford's character, because he plays not just a college professor but a Vietnam veteran, is that when the two guys who were left on the mountain, they were his students, and when they announced that they were joining the military, and they said it was because the advice he gave them, he was like, "What the? If I knew my advice was going to tell you to do that, I would have cut my tongue out." But the way he said it, and even then, he kind of his respect for them kind of went through the roof. Even though he didn't agree with their decisioning in joining the military, he still supported them, and that's what I love about his character. I mean, it kind of reminds me how when I went in the military, my family, my friends. This was before 9/11. They did not want. Everyone in my church tried to talk me out of joining the military. But I went, I made it, and they still supported me, and that's what the character of Robert Redford's character kind of reminds me of. And even though I can't believe I only saw this movie one time because it was that good. I mean, Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, Tom Cruise. I didn't know that was Andrew Garfield. I think that was before he did Spider-Man. But everyone did well in this film, and the film was definitely that good. Come from a personal perspective as a veteran.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I saw it in the cinema. I didn't rent it when it came out on DVD because it was like I thought it was a good film, but I didn't really want to see it again. I would quite like to watch it again now because huge.
I can confirm this is on Amazon for free.
Lions for Lambs is on Amazon for free.
Yep, I know that because I watched it about 3 hours ago.
Oh, there we go. What did you think of it, Al?
I thought it needed to be longer, actually, and I don't very often say that about films.
Yeah.
But I felt that where it was split into 3 different perspectives, it didn't quite serve all of them as well as it could have.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was
a little
at.
bit more to it. I thought the acting was great. It was all fine, but it just kind of it didn't feel like a cohesive whole. And I think if you put another 10, 15 minutes into it, then it might have. but I thought it was okay. I thought it was, you know, as I say, I thought the performances all round were really good. The only other thing that I did get a feeling of was when I was watching the Redford and Garfield scenes. I just didn't quite get that. I think it's because I saw Good Will Hunting before this, but I kind of thought that Good Will Hunting scene between Matt Damon and Robin Williams was so good that this just didn't quite land for me. Matt Damon. Yeah, but I mean, I did think it was a good film. I just didn't think it was cohesive in that way.
Yeah, as Toxic will tell you in prison, it's never good when your whole lacks cohesion. So, ratings out of 10?
I give it a 9.
I'd give this a 7.
What?
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7. I'd give the street cruise Redford scenes a 9. But the film as a whole, I'd give it a 7.
Just feel like it needed a bit more glue to hold it together and just to make it work.
I think that's fair. Who else has seen it? Rachel, you seen it?
I have not seen it, surprisingly.
Okay, it's not
surprising.
I'll
have to watch it though.
Yeah, I mean,
I won't be disappointed, Rachel. Trust me.
I definitely would recommend it because it is Tom. It's one of, Tom Cruise's. I think when Tom Cruise does like smaller roles, and he doesn't do them now, but when he did smaller roles on more kind of indie projects like this, and there was the one he did for Paul Thomas Anderson where he played the son of the dying film producer, who was a kind of one of those sort of the guys who talked to girls and did conferences about how to chat up women and all that kind of thing. It was like a girl pickup guru. That's his best performance of his career. That performance.
But Lance, Tom Cruise really surprised me in this film. I only named 2 other films in which he was good, but not as good. And that was A Few Good Men and Last Samurai. I'd say that those 2 in this one, because he's not really, in my opinion, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I don't think he's that good of an actor. But with this role and Last Samurai and A Few Good Men, I think those were his best performances. I'm surprised he wasn't nominated for any of these movies that I just mentioned.
Well, he got to work with Redford and he got to work with Newman because he worked with Newman in The Color of Money. So
that's the first time I even heard of Tom Cruise or Paul Newman.
Grady Seasons. And people watching will know what that means if they've seen the film. Rachel, you also picked The Horse Whisperer.
Yep, I did.
Tell us about your favorite gun battle sequence in that film.
Yeah, if there were any, I would about them, but there aren't.
I thought it was about like
another
injured
slower
horses.
movie.
I thought it was about injured horses in war. Isn't there like a 20-minute epic battle sequence at the beginning?
Oh, it is about an injured horse, but it's not that kind of injury. He didn't. He gets hit by a semi. It's more of it. That's more the kind of we're dealing with here.
Wasn't
that Pet Cemetery?
Why? It's not like Pet Cemetery. Why have you picked The Horse Whisperer for one of your? Now, could it be? I'm just saying because I'm sensing a theme here with your choices. Could it be that it has the sort of wayward lady who's not got a lot going on? She's got an injured party at home. In this case, a horse. And then, rugged, handsome guy walks into her life.
Hey,
there's some trees.
I picked a bridge too far.
Okay, but that's like about a guy, he's a rugged, handsome guy who sort of leads a group of people across this river. The river represents the woman. It's pretty similar.
Tanks are like horses with guns.
Well, this is an unofficial, even though we're not supposed to talk about Marvel. It is an unofficial prequel to Winter Soldier because it's got a young Scarlett Johansson. She later, after this, grows up to be an assassin and then goes after Robert Redford's character when he switches from horse whispering to working for Hydra.
Espionage and so forth.
Yeah.
But
Hydra whispering.
Okay, but Rachel, assuming our theories may or may not be correct about your pick, tell us why you chose this film.
Horses.
That didn't sound like Rachel. It sounded like a very manly Rachel there.
Yeah. It's one of his best performances, in my opinion. He's a man of few words, a lot of it just through actions. I really love when an actor can do that, when it comes so easily to them. If it wasn't just 3 movies, I would have picked one where he doesn't say, I think he says like 10 words in the entire movie, and it's just him. But the quiet scenes where it's just him, he sells this gentle masculinity that I feel like we don't get so much of. He is a masculine man, true, but he's not afraid to humble himself, because that horse could take him apart. That's the story.
How come that? Hang
Dangerous
on a minute.
horse.
Rachel, you definitely need to buy my books.
See the.
Oh, I need that. That title is fantastic.
Guy,
The
Puffin Flutterer. What's going on here? Right, check out this picture. Then look at the next picture. Hey, we've added a cowboy hat. That's the same scene, but it's like no hats. Then there's a hat all of a sudden.
The Germans are well known for their hatred of cowboys.
Trying to sell to Germans.
Oh God, Scarlett Johansson is super young there.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
this movie came out in 98.
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, this is 98.
Eight-Legged Freaks was the oldest thing I remember her being in.
This was at the cinema that I worked at part-time at Regal Cinema 8 in Boynton Beach, Florida, and this had the notoriety of being on our screen for a total of 7 days with not one single person went and saw it.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is 4 years before
they missed out.
I'm sure they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
I do remember people going to see this, and because I didn't go. I saw the trailer for it many times, and I thought this is a girly movie for girls that like horses and cowboys and that kind of thing. But I did say to some of my friends, I'm a big fan of Redford, and I said, so Horse Whisperer, should I go? And they were like, yeah, no. I was like, oh, okay. So,
Did they say it was a bit pony?
I think people were mad at the ending, honestly.
It does look like this looks like it could have been filmed where they shot Yellowstone. I wonder if
looks like I lived in Montana for 2.5 years. So.
Storyboards galore here.
That looks more exciting than the film.
You don't normally get storyboards on IMDb. That's kind of interesting.
I just love that German title. That's just the best.
Yeah, Der Purder Flusterer. It's the horse flusterer. He flusters horses. Just doesn't work, that title for that movie.
He didn't need that. That was so good.
In any translation, that I don't know, that sounds wrong somehow. So for whatever reason, Sydney Sweeney suddenly came up. So
not a bad thing, of course.
Okay, Rachel, what's your rating of this out of 10?
Oh my goodness, I can't decide between a 7 and 8. I think I'll go with a 7. As much as I love his performance, there are things I would have done differently. But just story wise, there are things I would have done differently. Mostly the ending. But other than that, I think it's a great movie.
I'm going to mention this, and I'll tell you what's really bizarre is tomorrow at the movie theatre in town that shows the old films. And I wrote down all the ones that I could go and see with my girlfriend before she goes home. And unfortunately, we can't go and see this tomorrow because I've got a rehearsal for the Making the Magnificent Seven Magnificent Egos. Get your tickets now on in 29 days. And some of the people on this panel will be there, at least 2 of them, possibly 3, including Rachel's jet. But yes, so the Prince Charles Cinema tomorrow, I reckon. Previously, I bet this film probably hadn't sold that many tickets because when I checked, there was plenty of tickets available. And this is the film that shows like I said, I've talked about the Prince Charles Cinema many times on the channel. It's great cinema. It just got saved. Yeah. So if we click on the next 7 days, you'll see that tomorrow at midday, they have a performance of The Sting. And I absolutely love this movie. Yeah. So when the orange tickets are the ones that have been sold. So when I last clicked on this, which wasn't that long ago, there was only like 3 that have been sold. And I bet a whole load of people will go and watch it tomorrow. They'll just turn up to kind of, they'll feel wistful about the parting of Mr. Redford. And this is definitely one of his finest films, because I think it was Al, or was it Toxic, who said it earlier. It's such a shame that we didn't get more of Newman and Redford together. And I suppose 2 actors of that sort of giants, you know, they were only going to do so many films together. This was also produced by Michael and Julia Phillips. Now, Julia wrote that amazing expose on Hollywood called "You'll Never Work in This Town Again," where she also admits about giving fellatio to Steven Spielberg while producing Close Encounters of the Third Kind with him. Fairly entertaining. But I think this is their finest hour. I think The Sting is just such a great movie. And of course, you've got Robert Shaw in there in one of his finest roles outside of Jaws, probably his finest role outside of Jaws, I would say. But yeah, there's something about Redford in this movie that's timeless. He's kind of at the height of his game, acting wise. He's at the height of his looks. He could be 28 in this movie. He could be 40 in this movie. You know, both his character and the way he looks. They all look great. I just love this period. It's got that kind of Guys and Dolls kind of Damon Runyon vibe. The whole thing is just brilliant, and I love the twist at the end. And when I finally watched this as an adult and I understood it, I thought, my God, what a brilliant movie. And yeah, great cast. All the supporting cast are fantastic. And there's some really good little twists in it. And Eileen Brennan, yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah, this movie is a 10 out of 10, hands down for me. Absolutely hands down, 10 out of 10. So Tox, you want to say anything about The Sting?
I mean, it's not as good as you know, I gotta admit, unless it's a gangster film like The Untouchables, I'm not a big fan of like the 20s 30s setting, you know, like doesn't really do a whole lot for me that way. I get it, I can see the appeal with it, but I mean, if you had to have me pick between the two, I'd say hands down Butch Cassidy is a much better pairing with the two. They are very dynamic together. I just didn't care for the story with this very much. I didn't think it was
I loved it, man. I love it.
Oh,
I think it's so good.
That's fine.
I love the scene with this guy. I think it might be Harold Gould, who's on the left here with the blue suit, where he pretends to be the banker, and they do that thing where they turn up as 2 painters, and they go in and they come into the banker's office. They produce this kind of faulty cleaning notice and say, "Look, you've got to, you know, you've got to clear out your office. It's you've got these bugs or something, and we've got to repaint the wall, and we've got to do all of this." And then he underneath he takes his overalls on. He's got a suit, and Robert Shaw wants proof that the banker is in on this kind of this scheme that they've got going that's going to get them the results of this race early or something. The banker's the guy, so they need proof. And then this guy then pretends to be the banker. They kind of quickly show him in the back door, and you can't come in. Look, my office is being painted right now. Okay, let me come out and talk to you. And then he picks up the phone and calls his secretary and says, "We're not to be disturbed for the next 5 minutes." And then they all just leave. And the banker comes back in with his secretary, sees half the wall painted, and he's like, "What the fuck's just happened?" And all of that fits perfectly into the plot later. I just loved it. I thought it was a brilliant piece of writing. George Roy Hill directed it. In some ways, it probably lends itself better to being a play. But Robert Shaw is what makes it work, because he's such a good adversary in the film, and you really believe he's won at the end. And I think that was That was good. Darth Plato agrees. Great period piece. Dan Candy gives it 8 out of 10. Toxic says 20 out of 10. It's the best film I've ever seen.
I've never seen it.
Leroy, I need to check, your credentials before you come on these streams, man. You can't come on a Robert.
Hey, I've seen Jeremiah Johnson. I've seen some parts of Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. I've seen The Last Castle. And I've seen some of Robert Redford's movies.
No, you've seen
this thing.
I'm teasing you, but you should watch it, mate. I think you would enjoy it.
Well, you guys already got me hooked on sneakers, so I might as well watch that.
Rachel, have you seen this? If so, rate it, please.
It's an 10 for me.
10. Really excellent. Critic Al, you seen it?
I have not seen this film. I need to watch this.
Northern. It's a good one. Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a little bit slower than Butch Cassidy, but it is a fun little movie as well. Just watching them work and how they kind of come up with these plans to sort of these schemes and everything, and it's kind of got a little bit of lightheartedness to it as well. These are still very likable, even though they're con men, but you kind of do get why you kind of want them to scam Robert Shaw's character, because Robert Shaw's a bit of a prick in this.
Oh, he's awful. Well, he murders his best mate, doesn't he?
I know, yeah. So yeah, you want them to scam this bastard. You really do. You want them to ruin him. So yeah, 9 out of 10 to me.
Well, we're nearly out of time, and I can't go too late tonight because I am rehearsing tomorrow, and I'm going to the theatre first, and then I'm coming back here.
Good luck with that, Lance.
Rehearse with the cast. Thank you very much. Making the Magnificent Seven coming soon. Now, we were going to talk about this a couple of weeks ago. It's just dropped on ITV1. It actually was made in 2019, so it's interesting that it took 5 years for this to come to the UK. But I know why, because we've had various public inquiries going on in the UK. We've had the one about the post office scandal, which of course is a huge, huge miscarriage of justice, which my last play was about. And then the other big public inquiry, which has just finished, is the blood infection scandal. And that is the scandal in the UK where the people that were making the blood products, the Factor VIII blood products for haemophiliacs, they actually knew that the risk of HIV being in that blood was extremely high, if not almost certain. And they still continued to sell the products. As a result, loads of people were infected. There was a cover-up that actually was an actual cover-up. A lot of people that were involved in the cover-up are sadly now dead. But that inquiry has just finished. And no one had ever done a drama about this before, so I thought, until the Canadian TV miniseries Unspeakable aired in the UK. And I didn't even know what it was about. I just saw drama, Unspeakable, based on a true story. And I thought, oh, okay, I like Canadian television and I like this actress. Let me have a read. Let me have a watch of the first episode. And of course, it was like, oh, okay, it's an HIV. This is heavy, But it's really, really, really good. One of the things that's really strong about it, from my point of view, is it's a multi-narrative drama. So you follow 2 or 3 different families who are extremely different from each other, one of whom has a bit of a problem child who's a haemophiliac who later becomes infected. This character is not very sympathetic. He's played by about 3 different actors at various different ages in his life, by Levi Meaden in this clip. He's not a very likable guy. So it's not one of these dramas where, we're going to show you several people who were impacted by this terrible tragedy, but all of them are really nice and they were angels. And actually, it's a cross section of society. So that for me earned my sort of admiration from the get-go. It's got a much older Matt Craven. I haven't seen him in anything in quite a while. I really like him as an actor. I think he's a great character actor who plays one of the main roles. And you get perspectives from various doctors and various lawyers involved in the case, but it's also set over it's set over a huge timeline. So right from the 80s right through till almost the present day, because the court cases that were going on with all of this have only just ended, and some of them are still unresolved. Sean Doyle, who's a character actor that many of you might recognize from various television shows and films, is an actor I've actually always really liked. He's kind of just got this interesting, very intense look, a sort of slightly alternative sort of Russell Crowe look. And I really rated him in this. I thought the younger cast were really good. And it told me a lot of stuff about it I didn't know. I'm a massive fan of Sarah Wayne Callies, who's in the show, plays one of the main characters. Michael Shanks is in this, and he's really good as well. So, yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough, frankly. Really, really good drama. I binged it all in 2 days. I think there's 8 episodes. It's one season and done. You're not committing to 5 seasons or anything like that. But Luke, how much of it did you see?
I've seen it all. I watched it all.
Oh, great. Fantastic. So you must have liked it then, because you would have tuned out otherwise.
Yeah. It's it does get a lot more better as well. And honestly, the fact this all Canadian being negligent towards its patients, things have not bloody changed. I mean, it's also gotten worse. It's not just the AIDS thing as well. It's also the euthanization of people who are depressed, involuntary euthanization. So, yeah, nothing's changed with Canadian healthcare. They still treat their patients like commodities. Yeah. But, this does not surprise me if this was 100% accurate to the facts of what happened with when they practically allowed this tainted blood to actually go out amongst the public, and cover it up in order to, to protect their careers.
Oh, I mean, I've fact checked all of this. It's incredibly accurate.
I won't be surprised. I really wouldn't.
And an absolute disgrace. And the funny thing was that America was heavily criticised for not moving on HIV fast enough. I didn't realise that the Canadians were actually even slower than them. And that's the case, and this show doesn't shy away from that. I highly recommend it for anyone who likes the true story crime drama, because this is definitely one of the biggest crimes ever committed against the Canadian people, and I'm not overstating that. Honestly, it might not be everyone's favorite subject, but do you know what? You should absolutely watch it. So you absolutely should watch it. There's nothing to see here going on in the UK, so it's just the same as it always is. Load of crap. There was a story. Ryan White was the big story in America. The kid who was the haemophiliac who died of HIV-infected blood.
I remember that story. Michael Jackson wrote a song dedicated to him.
Yeah, I think he actually went and visited him while he was still alive.
Yeah.
There's 3 things that I really believed growing up as a child in the 80s. 1, that I was going to encounter quicksand at some point. 2, that I was going to have to stop, drop, and roll. And 3, that at some point I would be exposed to HIV-infected blood by some, really malpracticing doctor of some kind. Those were 3 facts that.
How'd you end up with that thought?
I watched a lot of TV was the thing. Watched a lot. Too much.
Yeah, do it.
Too much.
Yeah, which 3 of those things turned out to be reality?
Strangely enough, none of those things actually happened. That's the crazy
thing.
Thank God. Thank God for that. But I feel pretty confident the stop, drop, and roll I would have been.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll. You can't beat a stop, drop, and roll. So that's I give Unspeakable a solid 8.5, maybe even a 9. Certainly the
nice
later episodes, really strong, as Northern said. Northern, what's your rating out of 10? Northern, prod Northern, are you still here? Where are you? He's gone for a wee. Okay, all right. Well, we just lost him, so I think he just lost his connection. Fair enough.
It's usually around this time in the evening. He usually has a little trouble with his connection.
Yeah,
it's because he gets tired and stops pedaling for a while.
Just keep going. Keep going.
So we're going to start to wrap up, but before we do, let's have a look at the. So the percentages are Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is in the lead by a mile with 44%.
No surprise there.
3 Days of the Condor at 28%. Last Castle 22%, and The Sting at 6%. My personal favorite. Wow. So I'm quite surprised there. We must have a younger. Well, we've either got a younger or much older audience in today, possibly older. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid being, I think, probably is the oldest of those 4 choices. Gotta say though, it is a great film. I do love it, and yeah. So Robert Redford, the end of an era. I mean, are there?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not. You've got Elliot Gould.
You know, Lance, the good thing about this, well, I don't know if I call death good, is that Robert Redford lived a long life. He was 89 years old. He was not young.
I mean, we haven't even talked about the Sundance Film Festival and all that he did for independent. We'd have no Quentin Tarantino if it wasn't for Robert Redford.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He gave him his break at Sundance. He attended a lab at Sundance where he met Steve Buscemi, got connected with Harvey Keitel, found the rest of the money for Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs is a good movie.
So there you go.
Now, I didn't agree with all of Robert Redford's politics or anything like that, but I did respect him for his activism. And one documentary that he directed that I highly recommend is Incident at Ogallala, which talks about the life of Leonard Peltier and what happened with those 2 FBI agents. And I'm glad that Robert Redford at least lived long enough to see Leonard Peltier become a free man.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about is very good.
It's a good movie.
And I don't think a lot of people have seen it actually.
I saw it only once, but like I said, even if he's not in it, you don't forget Robert Redford was unique. I mean, and I'm not big on him, but every movie that I've seen of him or that he's directed, you don't forget it. Like,
well, he also produced 57 movies or television shows or documentaries. That's no small amount of credits. You know, and I mean, he had a natural interest in anything to do with Native American Indians, you know, the kind of Western iconic things, you know, anything to do with nature, horses. You know, he produced a documentary on the Mustangs, America's Wild Horses. And then, you know, he was very much, he believed in certain rights and things like that, especially, I think he was a big favor of freeing or abolishing death row, from what I remember.
That I don't agree with, but
well, look, I mean, I don't know all of his politics. I mean, at the end of the day, I respect anybody who stands for something, because if you don't stand for anything, then
you're going to fall for everything.
Yeah, you fall for everything. Thank you. That's the thing I was trying to reach for. And we haven't talked about a lot of his other great pieces of work. We barely touched on All the President's Men. There's a lot of other performances that he did.
No Indecent Proposal, shocking. I'm joking.
I'm glad I never saw that movie. I am so glad I never saw that movie, because the thing with
that movie is, if you watch the trailer, you'd seen it.
Yeah,
you know,
like it's pretty much a concept,
the trailer, but just from the trailer, that is like, I don't even know why he even did that movie, because that's like so out of character for him.
2 words: Demi Moore. Demi
Moore's boobs. I'll have another one.
All Is Lost is a movie worth watching. About a man lost at sea. You know, it's worth seeing. It's a great performance. Redford kind of sells the movie. I saw that once and once only at the cinema. But great film, and another one that people might want to check out if they haven't seen it. And there's, you know, there are several films of his that I need to go back and watch some of his earlier work. I don't know that I particularly want to see the remake of Pete's Dragon. That probably spoil that.
I forgot. I did see A River Runs Through It. That was a good movie.
I saw that
when I was at Montana State University.
I just don't find fly fishing that exciting. I'm sorry. It's basically about fly fishing.
It's not about the fly fishing.
Yeah,
it's about fly fishing and rivers.
It's about the
rivers.
Yeah,
and it's got a pretty cool boat sequence, but I mean, it's about friendship, isn't it? Friendship and growing up.
I think brotherhood.
No.
And fly fishing.
It's a 90s movie with peak hotness Brad Pitt, and that's why this would fly off the shelves at Blockbuster, because this movie.
Yeah, but it's basically about father son fly fishing, friendship and stuff.
Fly fishing is very big in Montana.
Craig Sheffer as an actor, actually, it's a shame his career sort of was he was kind of up there at one point with other actors of this sort of caliber, but his career kind of pitted out. I'm not really sure what happened there with Craig Sheffer.
He's so good in that too.
He is. Yeah, I mean, I rated him as an actor full stop. I think he
was definitely good. This is one of his earlier movies.
Yeah.
Tom Skerritt. By this time, Tom Skerritt's already a legend in Hollywood.
Yeah.
This was 92. Tom Skerritt was already well known. I
can't believe that these three guys basically got paid shitloads of money to go and fish all day. They got paid shitloads of money to do this. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
River runs through it. All right. Okay. Well, look, we're going to wrap things up there. Now, next Tuesday, the stream might be delayed because it's the last day that my good lady is in the country, and she's flying out on the Wednesday. But we can only hang out until about 8 o'clock. So it depends where we go and what my distance is, but I'm not going to say there's going to be no stream next week, but it might be delayed. So it might not be as prompt as 10 o'clock. We might go up at 10:30 or something like that. So yeah, but great to talk about the work of a really talented actor who he gave us so much in addition to the Sundance Film Festival, certainly in at least 3 or 4 of my favorite movies in my top 100, I would say. I probably need to watch some of his stuff that I haven't seen. So we were saying this just about Graham Greene just the other week. But yeah, what a great actor, what a legend. And R.I.P. Robert Redford. And I was saying before we segued into something else, there are not many left of his generation.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, Dick Van Dyke.
They're still. And also, what's his name? The guy who directed Young Frankenstein and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
He's still with us.
Between
late 80s.
He's not. Mel Brooks is not in great health at the moment, so.
I guess he's probably next. Clint Eastwood
Yikes!
I mean, don't. Yeah, but
I'm not wishing death. I'm just saying,
Nah, he's trying hard to take your Angel of Death title away from you, Lance.
I know. Feel free to take that away, please.
Before we go, I just want to announce something. I just had an epiphany in my head throughout the entire podcast. I just got a new idea for a new book, and it was Jeremiah Johnson that inspired me.
So you're going to write a book about a mountain man with chasing after fish and bears and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's going to have a different plot twist. It's more basically I don't want to say too much, but it just
don't.
It kind of read it. Entered my brain, and it's partially inspired by Jeremiah Johnson, partially inspired by the Hatfield McCoy feud.
Okay, well that sounds like something that could be very exciting.
Just like my book, like tanks with guns.
What?
Tank with guns.
Just like my new book.
This is going to be set in the 1820s. So.
So I'm just reminding people, talking of Westerns, that there's my cast. The 7 Magnificent Egos. This is my cast. We are going to be on stage in 29 days. I'm going to put the link for tickets in the chat. If you're in the UK, you can come and see it. There's going to be something of a little YouTubers meet on the last performance, which is Sunday, the 19th of October. Yep, there's several YouTubers from the UK coming to that performance. So there'll be a bit of a YouTubers meetup in the pub after. So, and I will be there, of course. There's at least 5 of us with channels that are going to be there on the Sunday. So a bit of a YouTubers meetup, but you know, you've got to come and see the play if you want to socialize and hang out. You've got to buy a ticket. That's the caveat. So do come and see the making of the Magnificent Seven. 7 Magnificent Egos. It is a fantastic comedy. I'm still trying to learn my lines. So, you know, and no pressure because I'll be performing in front of all my mates. So it's going to be entertaining, to say the least. There you go. There's the synopsis of the play, which I've just put in the chat so people can read it. That's it from us this week. Do check out the channels of my friends. Look up Leroy Peters under books on Amazon, and you will see all of his various Western epics available for you to purchase now.
I got a new one coming out this week.
Yeah, all right. I plugged them already. Hold on, I ain't finished yet. I've also got a book out as well. My book just dropped on Friday, so I've got a book out for a change. My book, Back to Raving at 50, has just dropped. I'm waiting for the first reviews to come in. I've had a really nice first couple of days. It's just come out, and it's doing all right. But I do need those reviews. So if you're going to pick up a copy, or you have picked up a copy, as soon as you've read the book, assuming you like it, of course, please do leave a review, because as Leroy will tell you, reviews on Amazon are highly, 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 highly important, and they impact and affect everything. It's a very personal book for me, but I think you'll find it very entertaining. Very funny, and there's a massive chapter that's all dedicated to YouTubers in the book. So I think it's like chapter 7 or 8 or something like that. But it's called YouTube Interlude. So that's one of the chapters in the book that you can check out. That's it. Yeah, sorry, I hit that button a bit quick. That actually was an accident. I was like, "Fuck that's it from us." So anyway, and then my finger hit the button a bit, so I do apologise. We cut off a bit.
It's a bit premature.
It was a little bit. Sorry,
we lost everybody as well.
I know. I thought I was being really rude.
They all ran off. Jeez.
That is us. That is it from us now. My finger slipped. I started that a bit abruptly. I do apologise. Thanks to my panel, Leroy Peters, Lord Toxic, Northern Bastard, Critical, and Rachel Percy Art. Do check out Rachel Percy's art as well. Put it into Google, Instagram. You'll find her stuff. And there's also some art of Rachel's in my latest book. So when you see a pencil drawing, you'll know it's hers. That is it now. We are going now. All right. Thanks very much. Bye.
Gem today.